Welcome back. You still are with Afternoon Express here on S3. We're talking all things filling the cookie jar this festive season. And we know this. It's never been easier with these Clover Fruits of the Forest chocolate chip and oats cookies. They are oh so yummy. And Dee, we're putting you to the test in the kitchen because you said, you know, you got your stuff. You know how to get around in the kitchen. Tumi's already shaking her head. Tumi, what's up?
I'm shaking my head because this girl over here was telling me how she knows how to do her thing in the kitchen. She chops it down in the kitchen.
Trust me.
You know? So it looks like I'm not going to do much here. You're just going to...
Okay,
balance the equation.
Jesus, apply. But Tumi, this is a special one, but an easy one as well.
Very easy.
Right?
Very special. You said you don't like cookies.
Yes.
Why don't you?
I like soft ones, like wafers or something like easy to bite.
I'm loving the fact that you've said that because what we're about to make caters for you.
Okay, great.
A lot of people complain about how sometimes cookies, when baked, can be too hard, and you find yourself chomping so hard, and that's what you were saying the problem is. Now, because we're going to be using oats in our cookie, it actually helps because somehow it maintains the moisture, making these so easy to break apart. You don't even have to worry about biting into them and then having those worries.
Is it because it absorbs the moisture?
And it retains the moisture. Unlike sometimes you'll bake the cookie and then the moisture obviously gets evaporated eventually. But that's not going to happen with these cookies. As we always know with baking cookies, there is a wet-dry mixture situation that happens. So over here, I've already got my butter that's been creamed together with some eggs, some sugar, and vanilla essence.
Do you know that step, Dee? Is this something you would do? You would.
So let's not be those people here. So into this, because we always do the wet-dry situation, I'm going to then be adding our Clover Fruits of the Forest into the wet ingredients.
It doesn't last at my house.
I know.
It doesn't last. I sit, watch an episode of anything and I'll finish that thing in one go. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a dairy snack, of course, the Clover Fruits of the Forest. It can be enjoyed on its own, as I do, as a breakfast offering with a specially selected cereal mix containing oats, which is fantastic. Granola and seeds also in the mix there for that crunchy taste experience, which you really do want to get across. But it's nothing but real fruit, guys. That's the thing I like about it. Real fruit, real cereal, it's real taste.
It is.
And the great part is, if you don't know, chocolate and berries go very well together.
Oh, yeah?
And that's why we've chosen to go with the strawberry flavour to merge with those choc chip flavours that we've got in here.
What can Dee do for us here?
Before she gets there, because I know she's ready to work, but I just want to show you just the steps of how we're going. So we've got the wet. So we're going to do a wet, dry, and just keep alternating.
Great.
Into this, I'm going to go in with my oats. And then into this as well, I've got some flour, as well as baking powder or bicarb. And then I've also got some cinnamon into this. And as you can see, I'm mixing them separately, as I always do, just to make sure that I don't have a situation of lumps or you bite into your cookie. And
is that why?
Yeah, there's a whole chunk of cinnamon on the one side. It also helps for even distribution of the ingredients. I know, right?
It's science. It's a science. And if you want the recipe, go onto afternoonexpress.co.za. That's where the periodic table of this recipe can be found with all of the ingredients.
All right. So in essence, once this has come together, I'm going to keep adding then, like I said, wet, dry. I'm going to add more of our fruits of the forest, our choc chips, as well as our flour. Once it's done, this goes into the fridge. You come together with this. This is the dough you come out with.
Okay, cool.
The reason it has to go into the fridge is to make it easier when you're baking these babies. As you can see, Dee, I'd like you just to hold one up and show us there.
Yes.
It's still maintained its shape, right? If you take this dough immediately and bake it, it's going to flatten out.
Oh, no, you don't want that.
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
You put them in the fridge. We can roll them up into their sizes like this, like we're going to do now. Once rolled, before going straight into the oven, put them in the fridge for at least 10, 15 minutes, at least 30 minutes, so that they retain that shape. And then, madame, you can start filling those babies.
Perfect for gifting these as well, right? Because we spoke about gifting a lot on Tuesday. Dee, are you patient in the kitchen when you have to cook, when you do have to?
When I have to. When I have to, you just do the easy one. You just do the spaghetti there very quickly.
Just give them whatever.
And just like, spaghetti and mince and I'm out.
Yeah. This is the sort of thing you want to be patient with because, I mean, it's going to show if you're like just slapping it all together in like a minute. I love that you are adding so much of that Clover Fruits of the Forest because we do want that creaminess, right? Correct.
We do want that creaminess, but we also want to make sure that this dough comes together. You don't want to add too much liquid to it because you still want it to hold its form.
Bind.
So once the dough just starts coming together, My last step is to add the flour with the choc chips in it. And the reason for that, like we always say, we don't want the choc chips to sink to the bottom. So that's why I'm adding them with the flour. These are going to bake for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Obviously, it depends on your oven as well, but get all the steps on Afternoon Express, like you were saying.
There we go. Dee, how's it going there? You
I put it
happy?
on both sides.
Then you take this one and put it on top
I mean,
of.
some people really like chocolate.
You could do that.
Go and get the recipe on afternoonexpress.co.za. Dee, I'm not so sure about the kitchen skills there, but I know that when she steps on that stage, oh, it's going to be fire. We'll see just now.
Fruits of the Forest from Clover just added real cereal crunch. A symphony of fruit, oats, seeds, and granola crunch. Fruits of the Forest. Real fruit, real cereal, real taste.
Made with love by Clover.